Fox 13 News at 9 starts now.
Mid-South, get ready for round 2 of wintry weather. Freezing rain is making its way towards the Mid-South as people are still digging out from this weekend's snowstorm. Good evening, and thank you for joining me for Fox 13 News at 9. I'm Noah Sershin in for Daryl and Darcy. Fox 13 News is live local coverage you can count on, and we have team coverage tonight on this winter weather. Our Lakia Scott is monitoring road conditions in North Mississippi. Jack Bilyeu is taking a look at the risk for frozen pipes. Our Daniel Wilkerson has the story of one family whose roof caved in. But first, let's start with Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey in Severe Weather Center 13. And Andrew, the sun did help melt some of the snow and ice away, but that won't be the case tomorrow.
You make excellent points. Earlier today, we had brilliant sunshine. We actually made it above freezing. 37 for a high temperature over at the airport. But once the sun set, went back down to and below the freezing mark, and that's where we are now. That's why we're seeing refreezing on the roadway. And as we've mentioned for days, any snow that was not cleaned up, side streets, neighborhood streets, maybe around your own home, it is going to stay there because it just remains so cold over the coming days, including this evening. We have some clouds off to the west, and what's on the way are those clouds that will be dumping some raindrops, and it will freeze on contact. That is the very definition of freezing drizzle and freezing rain set to be upon us for tomorrow morning. For right now, temperatures are below freezing and they stay there. Maybe not as frigid as last night, but well below freezing. Teens and 20s right now, that's what we'll wake up with tomorrow morning. Wind chills running in the single digits, above zero, but still need to layer up. Here is a look at the timeline of when some of that freezing drizzle and freezing rain arrives. Early in the morning between 5 and 7 o'clock, areas in eastern Arkansas from winds southward will see it first between 5 and 7 a.m. In the heart of the metro area, including the city of Memphis, count on that beginning between 6 and 8 a.m., then farther to the north and east between 7 and 9 a.m. But guess what? There are no alerts up for this pending freezing rain and freezing drizzle. Doesn't mean we won't see an accumulation, though, and some difficulty on the roadways. We'll talk about ice accumulation in less than 10 minutes.
Thanks, Andrew. Taking a live look at road conditions right now, this is a live look at I-240 between Airways and Lamar. You can see that the interstate looks good, but those side streets are still covered in snow. But as we take a look in Mississippi, this is I-55 north of Nesbitt Road. There's still some ice on the snow and interstate. Fox 13's Lakia Scott joins us live from South Haven tonight. And Lakia, we know that North Mississippi really is one of those slick spots when it comes to slick roads, but does it look like any snowplows have been in that area you're in?
Yeah, it does actually. I'm here at the intersection of Goodman Road and Airways Boulevard. I wanted you to take a look at this intersection. I want to do a side-by-side comparison. That's why I chose this intersection to show you what it actually looks like. Now, it does look like some plowing has actually happened. If you take a look at Goodman, most of the lanes on both sides of Goodman are mostly clear. I've learned Goodman is a state road, meaning state highway crews are plowing and handling this area. But in contrast, I want you to take a look at Airways. Now, there's ice still all over it. And Airways is not a state road. It's being handled by local road departments. Now, we saw more of this as we traveled up State Line. If you are out and about, parts of State Line Road are also still covered in slick ice. I spoke with the Mississippi Department of Transportation today, who told me how they've been handling streets they manage here in DeSoto County, including Goodman Road, also known as Highway 302, especially as ice is expected to layer parts of the ground.
Our crews first wanted to maintain at least one lane, and now they're going back today with plows clearing snow and ice out of the secondary lane. And we'll come behind with our trucks and lay slag and salt in those lanes and the other lanes in hopes of, I guess, getting them to melt simultaneously. That'd be our greatest hope. But right now, it is down to one lane in some places. The issue is the ability to have sunshine during the day and temperatures warm enough to melt off some of the ice and snow.
Now, again, Goodman Road, which is managed by the state, is fairly clear. As you can see the cars are driving pretty freely down Goodman Road. Now, I reached out to local road departments to find out what they plan to do to make Airways the same as Goodman, because again, there's a lot of ice there. I reached out to the DeSoto County Road Department as well as the South Haven Public Works, and I'm still waiting to hear back.
That's Fox 13's Lakia Scott live for us in South tonight. Lakia, thanks. And we're following some breaking news now on Fox13 News at 9 out of Walls, Mississippi, where the Mississippi Department of Health has issued a boil water notice. This is because of loss of water from freezing temperatures. The notice is for the town of Walls, east and south of Highway 61, going from Star Landing Road to Goodman Road. Some of the subdivisions in this boil water notice include Encore, Caitlin, Mallard Park, Letterman, and Reunion, and all of the Lake Cormorant community. And in Olive Branch now, residents there are being asked to conserve water. City officials are asking that due to the high demand being placed on the water system. This means refraining from non-essential water uses like washing clothes, running dishwashers, and other activities that require large amounts of water. They also note that some areas may experience low water pressure. If you have any water leaks, you should report them to Public Works at 662-895-4111. Residents in Mason have experienced water woes for a while now, and we are just now learning that electrical issues have led to water loss there. The Mason Fire Department says that a weather-related electrical problem is causing low water pressure. Crews have been working around the clock since 4:30 this morning to restore water pressure. Sometime around noon, they were able to improve some of the water levels, but most of the problems are still lingering. Right now, there is no word on when water pressure will return to normal levels, but we will be sure to let you know here on air and online. Well, it seems like we've been dealing with just crisis after crisis in our community. Cold temps, dangerous roadways, uncertainty surrounding the power grid, and now frozen or burst pipes in homes. Plumbers across our area are facing a backlog that is sometimes hundreds of customers deep. Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu is live in Sherwood Forest right now, and Jack, plumbers told you that it could take up to weeks to get to everyone who needs help.
Part of the problem here is those dangerous road conditions meant that crews weren't able to get out to the homes that needed help on Monday and Tuesday. Now things are getting a little bit safer to drive on, so they're getting started and they're prioritizing emergency cases, some of which have already been sitting for days.
It's unending.
Tim Fancher of Smith's Plumbing Services says his team faced the same problem as countless other plumbers around the Mid-South. The ice and snow on the roads made it impossible to respond Monday and Tuesday, save for a few small crews and off-road capable trucks.
For most of us, our week's just now getting started.
Now that his crews are back to operating at full capacity, they're faced with a mountain of outstanding calls and are dealing with emergencies first. Fancher says more calls keep coming in at about 10 times the normal rate. Rough ballpark for me, how many outstanding calls y'all have?
300 plus.
The dumpster behind Smith's Plumbing is surrounded with broken water heaters that have been replaced over the last few days. Fancher says at first, all the calls were about frozen pipes, but now that things are heating up, those pipes are starting to break more and more, and those jobs can be either gratifying or heartbreaking.
You have people that it's going to make them move out of their home. In some cases, it's that much water damage, and you've got ones where we're able to save it. We're able to repair it, get their water back on.
Fancher says he expects it to take 2 weeks to clear the backlog, and it's not just Smiths dealing with more calls than they can handle. Fox 13 called half a dozen plumbing companies, all of which said they were just getting started after the snow and also faced a mountain of calls.
Everybody is pushed to their max when this happens. But just know, I know other plumbers are doing the best that they can as well. Everybody's doing as many calls as they can.
Now, if your pipes are frozen, there's not a lot that a plumber can do for you right now because, again, those broken pipes are the priority. But the most important thing for you to do is open your faucets, both hot and cold, because when that water thaws, it needs somewhere to go. And if it can't go out the tap, the pipe might break.
And that's Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu reporting live for us in Sherwood Forest. Jack, thanks. Well, crews in the Mid-South have been working around the clock to fix water main breaks today, but officials say that more breaks could happen as temperatures continue to remain below freezing. Fox 13 reached out to MLGW about the water main breaks after our crew saw at least 2 of them earlier today, one in East Memphis, the other in Bartlett. This just isn't a problem for utility crews. If enough water pipes start to break, water pressure could drop, something the city of Memphis dealt with in the past. But luckily, the utility company is saying that they have not had any issues yet. However, this is not stopping people from stocking up on water just in case something happens.
A couple days ago when we had went, there were none. So now we're trying to stock up before the next wave hits us.
Again, there are no major issues with MLGW's water system right now, but the utility says it is keeping a close eye on everything. The warming centers downtown will continue to stay open 24 hours a day due to this extreme cold. Single women and families will continue to stay at the Hospitality Hub on Washington Avenue, while single men and couples should go to the Dave Wells Community Center on Chelsea. MATA will be giving rides to both locations. Just call the number 297-1680. Remember, these are just intended to be a place to get warm. They're not intended to be used as overnight shelters. The University of Memphis and Memphis-Shelby County Schools have also canceled classes tomorrow as well. This is the fourth straight that they have been out due to wintry conditions. Remember, Fox13Memphis.com has all of the school closures whenever you need them. The school closures are also right now on the bottom of your screen. And be sure to tune into Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis as the winter weather rolls in tomorrow morning. Fox 13 meteorologists Brittany DeBose and Julia Fife will be tracking the storms. We'll also have extensive team coverage all throughout the morning. Good Morning Memphis starts at 4:30 a.m. And if you can't watch us when we're on the air, download the Fox 13 Memphis News and Weather app. There you'll have a look at all the school closings and breaking news surrounding winter weather, as well as interactive maps to track the storm. Fox 13 News is a free download in your device's app store. And we're following breaking news out of South Memphis, where 3 people have been shot, including an elderly woman. We have also learned that 1 person is dead. Fox 13's Rosalind Freeman is live at that scene on Kendall Avenue and will have the latest for us coming up. Plus, this winter weather isn't stopping criminals. This police have been busy not only responding to accidents, but crimes all around the city today. We'll break them down next. And we're tracking the icy weather headed to the Mid-South. Fox 13 News is live local coverage you can count on. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphreys will have your forecast after the break. Stay with us.
There's a lot of momentum in Memphis.
With new people, businesses, and events every day, our city just keeps getting better and better.
There's opportunities to grow your career.
And to eat, drink, or just see something new.
Great things happening right here at home, and we're going to tell you about them in Memphis Momentum.
Every day on Fox 13 News. Constantly tracking upcoming severe weather and how it will impact you. Weekdays from 4:30 to 10 a.m.
This is breaking news.
And that breaking news is out of South Memphis, where 1 woman dead and 2 others are injured after a shooting. It happened just last night after 6 on Kendall Avenue. Fox 13's Rosalind Freeman is live there with the latest. Rosalind, fill us in.
That's right, Darcy and Daryl. When we arrived here, it wasn't that many people outside because it's still cold and there's still icy grounds. But according to MPD, a little bit after 6 o'clock, 2 women, including an elderly lady, were shot and a teenager shot. I want you to turn your attention. I want to turn your attention to the blue house behind me. That is where all 3 family members were shot, leaving 1 dead, and 1 is now being treated at Regional 1 in critical condition. Now, the teenager is being treated at Le Bonheur in non-critical condition. MPD are now searching for 2 male suspects.
My heart aches for this family tonight. Family suffering the death of 1 family member and 2 additional family members that were injured in a senseless shooting.
Just moments ago, investigators arrived on the scene. That is what you're seeing behind me. But coming up at 10, we will hear the latest on the search to find those 2 male suspects.
That's Fox 13's Rosalind Freeman live for us South Memphis tonight. Rosalind, thanks. New at 9, this winter weather really isn't stopping crime. In Clarksdale, Mississippi, police there have responded to multiple shootings since Monday. Police say that 3 minors were walking near Heron and Maple Street when a car drove by. That's when police say the drivers started shooting at them. 1 of the minors was shot in the arm. Police also say that in that same area, a house and vehicle were shot on Pecan Street. They also say that a 2017 Kia rental was stolen in the 300 block of Jefferson Avenue. The tag is Mississippi DAW 6610. If you have any information on any of these crimes, call the Clarksdale Police Department at 662-621-5151. Caught on camera Police are looking for the man who robbed a gas station at gunpoint twice in a week. It happened at the Circle K gas station on Shelby Drive last Thursday just after midnight. A man held a gun to the clerk and left with $250 and 10 packs of cigarettes. Police say he came back again on Saturday. This time the suspect knocked on the door even though it was locked. The gas station clerk did not let the suspect enter the store because of fears of a robbery. That was when the suspect threatened to shoot into the business if the employee did not unlock the door. This time the suspect got away with $105 and 4 packs of cigarettes. If you know who this man is, call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. While the Mid-South isn't the only ones reeling from Mother Nature, a brutal winter storm is wrapping up in the eastern U.S., but the worst is still not over. A winter storm is bringing freezing rain to the Pacific Northwest. Authorities say that 7 people were killed due to severe area. Snowplows are working overtime coast to coast. This winter weather is also gripping our airports. Passengers seeing delays everywhere north of Atlanta. Warm-ups are expected in various spots over the next few days, but the temperatures will plunge again this weekend.
Out there right now, we're still looking at temperatures that are below freezing. Here's the map so you can see your own county under that winter weather advisory. And again, it is for the entire Mid-South, from the Boot Heel, Missouri to eastern Arkansas, western Tennessee, and northern Mississippi. Freezing rain and freezing drizzle start to arrive as early as 7 o'clock in the morning, first in eastern Arkansas, before spreading to Memphis and spreading throughout the rest of the Mid-South. Currently, we're looking at 25 degrees, and it stays below freezing as we go through the night. Clear skies for now, but increasing clouds overnight, bringing that precipitation as well. 18 right now for our friends in Covington, 19 in West Memphis. And believe it or not, well, you already know if you've been outside lately, these temperatures are higher than yesterday at this time. 8 degrees higher in Jonesboro, but as much as 21 degrees higher right here in Memphis. So tonight will not be as frigid, but temperatures being a lot and all things are relative, it will still be below freezing, giving us a chance of that icy mixture that will be over the area. Here, take a look at what goes on. We stay clear throughout a majority of the night. It's not until around 4 o'clock in the morning we start to see clouds come in. Some of the first raindrops start to fall and freeze between 5 and 7 in the morning, from winds southward and then eventually Memphis and much of the viewing area by 7 a.m. and shortly afterward. You can see some warmer air is trying to mix in here, so there is the possibility, especially in northern Mississippi, of rain, that is liquid raindrops that stay liquid when they hit surfaces, happening in portions of northern Mississippi. But some freezing rain and freezing drizzle mixed in, especially mid-morning. But then it all starts to leave by around 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So because this storm is moving a lot faster than the MLK snowstorm, and because it doesn't really have as much energy, the precipitation is going to be more widely scattered and lighter. Ice amounts or ice accumulation will be on the low side, but still significant, and it can still cause problems. So you still want to be cautious. Ice accumulations, it looks like barely 1/10 of an inch in many areas. There's a greater possibility of getting closer to 1/10 of an inch north of Mississippi and north of I-40 by the end of the afternoon. But even 2/100ths of an inch, that can still cause problems. Travel may not be impossible, but it will still be tricky and difficult during the day tomorrow, starting with the morning commute. Overnight lows will be in the low 20s here in Memphis, teens elsewhere with sunrise at 7:07. The portion of the day where it's more likely to have freezing drizzle or freezing rain is mainly by mid to late morning and then by the midday hours and also into the early afternoon. By 4 p.m. and by dinner time, it all starts to go away. High temperatures just barely above freezing, around 34 to 35 degrees. Now behind this precip is colder air. So we're frigid once again. We're back into that ice box with sub-freezing conditions on both Friday and Saturday. It is not until Sunday where real relief moves in. Middle 30s by Sunday, 40s and 50s, but a better chance of rain than anything else next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thanks, Andrew. Pipe burst in a Cordova apartment complex, causing the roof collapse. Why this family now says that they have nowhere to go as they've received little to no help from the apartment complex. And after losing the Iowa caucuses, Haley and Ron DeSantis are trying to boost their poll numbers. How they're appealing to Republican voters ahead of the New Hampshire primary.
Every day here on Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis, we do more local news than anyone else.
Because covering the stories that happen here is what helps you prepare.
Reporters who are the first to know, bringing you fresh information like no one else can.
Live updates from the day's biggest stories and what happened overnight.
Taking you beyond the headlines with details that matter.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're live everywhere to help you prepare.
Wake up with us and start your day ready for anything.
Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis, weekdays from 4:30 to 10 a.m.
This segment of today's broadcast is brought to you by Landers Buick GMC in South Haven.
After former President Donald Trump's large lead in the Iowa caucus, the remaining candidates are making a push for more support ahead of the New Hampshire primaries. Fox's Connor Hansen shares some of the issues at the top of voters' minds.
I'm leaving right now for New Hampshire. We're making a big speech up in New Hampshire. We just got a poll in that shows me leading by a lot.
Former President Donald Trump getting back on the campaign trail straight from court, where the judge in his New York civil trial threatened to eject him.
And he's a nasty judge. He's a Trump-hating guy, and it's obvious to everybody in the court. It's a disgrace.
A recent poll of New Hampshire voters showed Trump leading with 50%, Nikki Haley with 34%, and Ron DeSantis with just 5%. Haley, who's looking for a big win, is selling herself as the party's best chance to beat President Joe Biden.
People are connecting with us. We're building relationships with people here in New Hampshire. We're getting Republicans, we're getting independents, and we're getting Democrats. And think about that. That's how you beat Joe Biden.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis also hosting an event. His super PAC now confirms it has laid off staff following the Iowa caucuses, claiming it was always part of their plan.
Now the border is really just a matter of will, and I will be the president to end the border as an issue in our country.
Immigration remains a major concern for primary voters. A recent Boston Globe poll of likely New Hampshire voters shows 80% said they believe the number of immigrants entering the U.S. is a, quote, emergency situation or a major problem.
Immigration, illegals coming across the border. That's it.
Trump's civil trial will continue here in New York tomorrow. The former president is not expected to be there because of his mother-in-law's funeral in Florida. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Thanks, Connor. Well, first time in years, there will not be a face-off ahead of next week's primary. A second Republican presidential debate is being called off. Nikki Haley is refusing to participate in any forum that does not include former President Donald Trump. The debate was scheduled for Sunday at New England College. This comes a day after ABC announced plans to scrap its debate at another college.
Poplar is plowed pretty well where you have like one lane of traffic, but if you get on the back roads, there's no plows gone through.
So which roads are the city working to clear first? Fox 13 investigator Kayla Solomon takes that question to city and state leaders to find out when your roads can be safe to drive on again. Stay with us.
He's the only MIT-trained broadcast meteorologist in the world. Has worked as a graduate researcher for NASA and the National Weather Service. Served as a board member for the American Meteorological Society of Broadcast Meteorologists and certified for over 2 decades. An unmatched level of experience, making sure you and your family stay safe when severe weather threatens the Mid-South. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. Every night at 9 and 10 on Fox 13 News. Watch Good Morning Memphis, weekends with Jeremy Pierre and meteorologist Chelsea Chandler.
Tonight, we're tracking the threat for freezing rain tomorrow, and all of this is coming after the snowstorm we dealt with Sunday. And now you're taking a live look at East Memphis through our Skyview 13 camera. And we do want to let you know that some of the snow has melted during the day, but now with our temperatures dropping below freezing again, that snow could ice over. Let's go to Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey and Severe Weather Center 13. And Andrew, we know about the refreezing, the black ice, but now the problem is ice glazing.
And we're fortunate that that ice glazing will not be very thick. However, it will be thick enough to warrant caution on the roadways, additional caution, and it's also prompted a winter weather advisory to be in effect for Memphis and all of the Mid-South. It includes eastern Arkansas, the Boot Heel, Missouri, Memphis, and northern Mississippi. It starts at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, but some of those raindrops might arrive a little bit earlier, as early as 5 a.m. in areas like Cross County southward down through Phillips County, but then overtake Memphis and the rest of the Mid-South during the morning commute. 25 degrees right now. It's already below freezing everywhere. Temperatures aren't as low as they were last night, but all it takes is it to be below freezing for ice to form, and that's generally the environment that we'll be in for tomorrow morning. Wind chills, we're looking at them mostly in the single digits and also in the teens. For now, clouds are gathering to our west. They haven't made it here yet. It'll take a few hours for them to cross enough real estate to actually make it here. Once again, arriving in parts of Arkansas by around 5 to 7 in the morning, and right here in Memphis between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll go over the possible ice accumulations and where temperatures go from here in minutes.
This is what 2 Cordova families are saying they have to deal with. They say a pipe burst inside of a vacant 3rd floor unit, and now the families below that unit say their ceilings have caved in. They say that apartment management really isn't giving them many options at this point. This happened at the View at Shelby Farms apartment complex near the intersection of Germantown Parkway and Walnut Grove. And that's where we find Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson live for us. And Daniel, those families told you that management told them they're just going to have to fend for themselves.
That is right, Daryl and Darcy, good evening to you, good evening to you at home. And one of those families says when their ceiling fell in, it just narrowly missed him and his niece. One of the other family tells me that the apartment complex is telling them that they'll have to fend for themselves tonight. They say they just paid rent and they don't have the money to get a hotel.
Bro, the ceiling just fell on me, bro.
Take a look at this video shot by a Cordova family.
So as it started, the ceiling was bulging from the center, and as I'm walking around surveying the area, it just splits like in half.
Edward Chapman says he and his niece were nearly hit by the falling ceiling.
And that's what we see, this sheetrock that is falling, right?
All of this fell on me and my 2-year-old niece.
Chapman's sister and brother-in-law live at the View at Shelby Farms apartments in Cordova. He says a pipe burst in a 3rd-story apartment. The water from it came down to the Chapman's 1st-story apartment. But on the way down, that same water caused the ceiling to fall in Rodriguez Porter's apartment on the 2nd floor.
So water damage came through, fell, ceiling collapsed. Water was everywhere. I'm talking about soaking wet and got into the cords and everything, clothes wet.
He says as soon as the water started to rain down, this happened.
This light in there, it kind of exploded and it kind of hit my girlfriend. Sparks and stuff hit her hair.
Both families say they immediately contacted the management at the View at Shelby Farms and were told the same thing.
First off, they were saying that they was going to try to move us to another apartment, but then they said it's not in policy for them to move us, or they can't do anything about it. All they can do is just do repairs.
But he says management says those repairs would take 4 to 5 days to complete. In the meantime, Porter says the complex says he'll have to foot the bill for a hotel. It's money he says he doesn't have because he just paid rent. I reached out to the management company Wednesday night, but was only able to leave a message.
In the meantime, where are you and your family going to live?
That one I don't know, because they saying they can't do anything right now.
Back out here live tonight outside that apartment complex. The Chapmans tell me that they will stay with family tonight. Meanwhile, Porter says, as I told you off the top, he doesn't have the money for a hotel. He says he doesn't know what he and his family will do tonight.
Just heartbreaking. That's Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson live for us in Cordova. Daniel, thanks. And just a reminder, if you need a warm place to stay, the warming centers downtown will continue to stay open 24 hours a day due to this extreme cold. Single women and families will continue to stay at the Hospitality Hub on Washington Avenue, while single men and couples should go to the Dave Wells Community Center on Chelsea. Matter will be giving rides to both locations. Just remember to call the number 90297-1680. Remember, these are just intended to be a place to get warm. They're not intended to be used as overnight shelters. have been outside on the roads, you know that most of them are still hazardous. Right now, you're taking a live look at Sam Cooper near the I-40-240 split, and you can see the interstate looks to be good, and Sam Cooper as well, but the problem is those side streets just like this one right here. And that's the problem that we've been hearing from a lot of people all around the city, is that those main roads and side streets are still icy. Fox 13's Kayla Solomon and leaders in TDOT for clearer answers tonight.
A spokesperson for the city of Memphis tells us that major roadways include any roads that have 4 lanes or more, and also those that are on an incline. That would include Central Avenue, where you can see traffic is flowing steadily, at least 1 lane in each direction. Now, one driver I spoke to tells me the roadways are still dangerous, so you have to be careful.
Definitely, if you don't have to be out, stay off the roads.
Stay off the roads is the ideal situation, but what is it like if that's not an option?
It's definitely tricky to maneuver, especially for us Memphians who don't get out too often in the snow.
The reality is people are having to deal with varying road conditions all over Memphis and the Mid-South. Tuesday, Fox 13 began reaching out to the city, asking which roads are the main ones in the city that would be cleared. A day later, we've learned they have at least 4 lanes, like Hacks Cross Road, where the city showed us a couple plows working Tuesday. That same day, we found snow plows at work along Poplar Avenue, which is maintained by the state.
Poplar, it's plowed pretty well, where you have like 1 lane of traffic, but if you get on the back roads, there's no plows gone through.
A TDOT spokeswoman told Fox 13 they prioritize the interstates first and then go in order of the highest traveled roads to lower traveled roadways. So Fox 13 asked for a more specific list, and the response was, "Let me look into that." For now, drivers are doing the best they can given the conditions.
Take your time, go extra slow, and just be cautious.
So besides Central Avenue, what are some of the other city roadways that they're in charge of maintaining? And also, what are some of the state roads? Well, we have a full list of those roadways for you, as well as some of the treatments that have been done since the snowstorm began on Sunday and even before that. You can find that list on our website at fox13memphis.com. In East Memphis, Kayla Solomon, Fox 13 News.
Well, FedEx says that they are facing issues getting packages to homes across the country because of the severe weather. The Mid-South's largest shipping company and employer says it is issuing a service disruption today. They said that it will most likely affect its express shipments, but all deliveries at this point could be delayed. FedEx says packages that are being delayed due to bad weather are not eligible for a refund under its credit policy. Well, car break-ins don't only affect Memphians, but it's also impacting tourists. Up next, the unexpected experience for a news crew covering the winter weather in Memphis. That's next. Stay with us.
Fox 13 puts you first, taking you live to the scene of breaking news with journalists who dig deeper to uncover more about the stories that matter to you.
Keeping you safe by alerting you days ahead of severe weather so you have time to prepare.
And local investigations dedicated to getting you answers and solutions to help your family.
Count on Fox 13 News for more live local coverage every day at 5, 5:30, and 6.
This is breaking news.
And that breaking news is out of South Memphis, where 1 woman is dead and 2 others are injured after a shooting. It happened just after 6 on Kendall Avenue. We have learned that an elderly woman was shot, killed. Fox 13's Rosalind Freeman is live on the scene for us, and we'll have an update tonight on Fox 13 News at 10. Meteorologists from the Weather Channel reporting on the snow here learned the hard way about Memphis's break-in epidemic. Weather Channel photographer Charles Peak, along with 3 other vehicles, were broken into at the Memphian Hotel in Midtown. Peak took to Facebook to say that security was present but did not come out due to the weather. Thankfully, Chris was able to take the equipment out of his car before his live shot, so thieves were not able to steal anything. A teen is behind bars in Oxford tonight, charged with 19-year-old Quintez Daquan Hall of Sardis, Mississippi, and 3 others were walking around the Greens apartments pulling on door handles. When police got to the apartment complex, they saw the 3 suspects in one of those cars at the apartment complex driving off. When they stopped that car, they found several items in the vehicle that were stolen. Police arrested Hall, and he was given a $2,000 bond. We're working to learn if the other passengers were arrested as well. Well, coming up, members of Congress are fighting over how they'll spend millions of dollars in foreign aid between the Middle East and the southern border. How President Biden is trying to cater to both sides while still trying to help those in Ukraine. But first, helping to bring economic growth to Mississippi. More on the special session Governor Tate Reeves is calling for to bring new developments to Marshall County.
There's a lot of fear that's out there when severe weather is coming. People need to know, am I going to be safe? And if not, what do I need to do? This is personal for us. Protecting the people out there that are watching, it's like protecting our spouses. It's like protecting our own children. Once that warning is issued, we're already in action behind the scenes, taking a look at where the severe weather is and where it's going to go. The goal when it comes to covering severe weather is to making sure that people are safe and protected, making sure that families are safe and protected.
Governor Tate Reeves is calling for a special legislative session to ask the legislature to allocate $350 million to finalize an economic development project in Marshall County. Now, once complete, the 500-acre development will produce electric battery cells used in electric vehicles, rather. The project is expected to bring more than 2,000 jobs into the area with an average salary of $66,000 a year. Governor Reeves says he expects more economic growth in this area because of this project.
The company is guaranteeing 2,000 jobs within a certain time frame. I'm very confident that because of this industry, because of the quality of the companies involved, you're going to see a tremendous amount of spin-off economic development, of which we have already put the infrastructure needed for that additional investment in the Chickasaw Trails Industrial Park into this specific deal. And so we're going to open up significantly more land.
Now the name of that company that is coming to Mississippi will be announced just after the legislature completes its work. Well, for weeks, the Biden administration has been in talks with Congress over a new border policy. With the deal still not on the table, the president is trying to push negotiations to the finish line while also giving funding to Israel and Ukraine. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more.
With the relentless war in Ukraine and the violence between Hamas and Israel spreading further across the Middle East, Congress is still sitting on billions of dollars in foreign aid.
If we don't get it right in Ukraine, we're going to pay a heavy price in some other country soon.
The holdup has to do with border security. Republicans holding firm, vowing to withhold a proposed $100 billion aid package until the U.S. border is under control.
I can't help Israel and Ukraine until I help our own country.
Now, President Biden is stepping in, inviting congressional leaders to the White House Wednesday to urge both chambers to reach a deal.
For the first time, I think the chances of getting it done in the Senate are greater than not getting it done.
The president has been really clear. He wants to talk about Ukraine, the urgency of making sure we continue that assistance to Ukraine.
But Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson doesn't plan to budge on securing new border policy.
I'm going to tell the president what I'm telling all of you, and we've told the American people, border, border, border. We have to take care of our own house.
But does taking care of your own house also mean avoiding a government shutdown? With these negotiations still unresolved, Congress also faces a funding deadline at the end of this week. There is a bipartisan deal on the table to avoid a government shutdown on Friday, but it involves a short-term spending bill called a CR that many hardline Republicans who want to slash the budget are against. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Even with temperatures right now that are mostly still below freezing, but not as low as they have been, they could still be hazardous. And they are just low enough below freezing where they still present a threat when a new weather system moves in, and that's the stage we have set for tomorrow morning. That's why we have a winter weather advisory for the entire region, including the Bluff City, including northern Mississippi, starting at 6 a.m. on your Thursday. It's 25 right now. Clear skies overhead, but thicker clouds will start to form by 4 o'clock in the morning and drop some freezing rain and freezing drizzle on top of Memphis and much of the Mid-South starting between 5 and 7 o'clock on your Thursday morning. We're looking at 19 right now for our friends in West Memphis. We're looking at Tunica checking in at 19. All across the area, from Oxford to the Boot Heel in Missouri, temperatures are still below freezing. And a reminder, this will be our first ice event of the season. The MLK snowstorm of 2024, just a few days ago, it was basically all snow. But ice can cause these additional hazards, especially if there's a big buildup. Fallen tree branches and fallen trees, down wires, more power outages are possible, and of course, accidents, auto accidents with spinouts or collisions, and certainly slip and falls also, even at your home, at your own home, not too far away, right outside your step. So do what you can to take precautions. Maybe sprinkle a little salt before going to bed tonight or tomorrow morning as some of it falls. However, with this system here, there are a couple of features with it. When it arrives, it's going to be weaker than previous ice storms that we've had, so you can see the scattered nature of the freezing drizzle and freezing rain. Number two, it moves through pretty quickly, starting to make its arrival between 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning. From winds southward, we'll see some of that freezing drizzle affect the area. It'll just be entering Memphis and Shelby County and also DeSoto County at that time. It's bringing some warmer air too, so some of that freezing rain will be mixing with plain old rain, and temperatures get slightly above freezing during the afternoon. But if there's any thawing, it'll be a slow thaw during the afternoon. That's why there's still a winter weather advisory for northern Mississippi as well. But because it's moving through so quickly, and because of the light nature of the precipitation, the scattered nature of it as well, the ice accumulations are going to be on the low side. So will there be many down trees or tree branches? No. Will there be many down power lines? Odds are no. I'm very confident in that. However, when you still have amounts like this, 1/100th of an inch, 2/100ths of an inch, 6/100ths of an inch, you still need to be cautious. That's why the advisory is up, and that's why we're still telling people to do so. We're looking at 21 degrees overnight tonight. Not as frigid as previous nights, but still temperatures below freezing. When that precipitation arrives, for many places, it will freeze on contact. By 8 a.m. and afterward, we'll still have some scattered freezing rain around. By the afternoon, highs up to around 35 degrees. Some thawing, but not very much. And even if there is, it would be a slow thaw or slow melt. And this system is followed by frigid air once again. So we got to watch for refreezing after sunset tomorrow evening. Then temperatures only in the 20s during the day, teens and single digits at night from Friday into the end of the weekend, Sunday morning. But then by Sunday afternoon, we make it back above freezing. We also get a healthy amount of sunshine during each afternoon, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but much warmer air and a bigger thaw early next week.
Thanks, Andrew. Theater Memphis is moving its opening performance of A Raisin in the Sun because of the dangerous roads. It was supposed to debut Friday. Instead, you can catch it beginning Sunday at 2 p.m. If you already have tickets for Friday or Saturday's canceled performances, the theater box office will contact you to arrange seating for another show. Theater Memphis says that they made the decision to move the show for safety of its crews, cast, and of course, patrons. The nature's winter wrath is still gripping the Mid-South, causing dangerous conditions on the road. We're live in North Mississippi, showing you what the roads look like and with the information on how crews are keeping you safe. And dealing with busted pipes is so frustrating, but if you're already facing that issue, we're going to tell you the best way to deal with that problem tonight on Fox 13 News at 10, what you should do if you find yourself in that situation. But still ahead at 9:30, these frigid temperatures are causing serious concerns for medical experts in the Mid-South. How officials say that you can prevent a trip to the emergency room in these nasty conditions. But first, here's tonight's local steals and deals.
If you're like me, you hate when your phone battery dies and you're left without a phone. Well, if you have the Rush Charge Universe, you never have to worry about that again, because this baby is lightweight, fits right into your pocket, you can take it on the go, and it has a port for everything. You have a USB-C, you have the micro USB, and the Lightning for your iPhones, Androids, your gaming devices, everything. And the best part about this is it comes charged and ready to plug and play, and you are ready to go. Now, regardless if you're charging your phone or your gaming unit, you can still play, you can look on your phone, your hands free. I hate having to hold that extra brick with the cord attached to the phone over there. You can just do what you need to do while charging. And the pass-through technology is pretty cool because I can charge this device while charging all of my other devices. And don't just think it's for just a phone. No. You can put your AirPods in there. Bam, charging those too. You are good to go. That's why I had to get one of these for all the members of my family, because look, they come in all of these fun, creative colors, and they have 26 hours of extended usage. You can charge everything and never be left without a charge ever again. And right now, guess what? This is unbelievable. 50% off right now at localsteals.com. So get you your Rush Charge Universe today.
Every night on Fox 13 News, Darcy Thomas and Daryl Green bring you more local news than anyone else by taking you live to the scene of breaking news as it unfolds, so you know what's happening now, giving you perspective with storytelling that goes beyond the headlines, and leading the way with original investigations about your community and your money. Join Fox 13's Darcy Thomas and Daryl Green with the only live local news at 9, 9:30, and 10. Fox 13 News is local coverage you can count on.
This segment of today's broadcast is brought to you by Landers Buick GMC in South Haven.
Will you have the chance to hear about the latest developments with the Memphis Police Department at their upcoming Community Awareness Forum? It will be held at the New Directions Christian Church on February 15th from 6 to 7 p.m. MPD says that they will discuss the Real-Time Crime Center Community Impact Officer Initiative, as well as keep yourself safe from crimes like burglary, shoplifting, theft, and robbery. The event is free to the public with free refreshments. Well, we've described the temperatures this week as deadly, and that's not an overstatement. Sadly, health officials say that there have been 2 deaths in Shelby County this week due to the weather, and it's not just the cold that puts you at risk. Fox 13 health reporter Mandy Rock shares that the Arctic air and icy conditions are sending more and more people to the hospital.
That's why city and county officials are working to protect our most vulnerable neighbors by getting them out of the cold and into shelters. I spoke with one woman who said she initially struggled to find a place to get warm after the electricity went out at the place she was staying.
Hypothermia is real. And I mean, if I can't get myself warm enough, then of course I'm gonna perish.
Contessa Humphrey feared for her life after she said she lost power Sunday.
I sat there in the car for maybe, I don't know, probably like 2 hours, and I just kept cutting my heat on. But then the temperature kept dropping, and I was just like, no, I got to get somewhere.
Humphrey eventually got help at the Hospitality Hub on Washington Street to get warm. As Arctic air continues to blast the Mid-South, hospitals across the area are seeing more people due to winter-related issues like falls due to ice, hypothermia, and frostbite. A spokesperson for Baptist Memorial Healthcare said they've seen 40 patients for weather-related issues across their hospitals since Sunday. A spokesperson for Methodist Le Bonheur said they've also seen an increase.
Unfortunately, we do have patients that pass away around the country every year because of effects of hypothermia.
Dr. Dale Kreiner is the chief medical officer at Methodist Le Bonheur Hospital in Germantown. He said it doesn't take long for the effects of hypothermia and frostbite to set in, especially among the elderly and very young.
It can really only take 10 or 15 minutes before they start feeling the effects and decreasing their body temperature. So it can be a very dangerous situation.
And to prevent more tragedies, the health department is asking everybody to seek shelter from the cold and to check in on the elderly, the sick, and the homeless while it's this cold. In the medical district, Mandy Rock, Fox 13 News.
And as we just mentioned, this cold weather really is affecting the homeless population. Warming shelters have been open all across Tennessee as more precipitation is expected. In Nashville, one outreach specialist for Open Table Nashville was out canvassing the city's downtown to provide winter weather supplies and offer rides to shelters. He handed out hats, socks, protein drinks, and blankets outside of the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum to several people. One man caught a ride to the warming shelter, and he says he's appreciative of all the work this group is doing.
It's all good, though. I mean, thank God for people that try to help people in the streets, you know. That's a blessing, you know. That's a real blessing, though.
At least 14 deaths in Tennessee have been linked to this brutal storm system that really has blanketed all of our state in snow and sent temperatures plummeting. Well, this bitterly cold weather kept an icy grip on a swath of the U.S. stretching from Oregon to the Northeast. And in D.C., they're making the most of it with a snowball fight. Folks, take a look at this. The 16th Battle of Snow took place this morning in Washington, D.C. Area schools were closed due to the snow, so the Washington, D.C. Snowball Fight Association made the announcement that the fight was on.
2 years without a measurable snowfall, and 2 years of absolute agony for those of us who do this for a living. I mean, it's been a very dry spell. Yeah. Now we're back in business.
Well, folks on X weren't thrilled about the start time, 8:30 a.m., since most of them were off of work. Tonight on Fox 13 News at 10, roads are improving in Tennessee and Arkansas, but are DeSoto County roads safe to drive? work Mississippi Department of Transportation crews are doing to keep you safe. Plus, we've been dealing with freezing cold for days, and that puts you at the risk for frozen pipes. Ahead, a look at some of the issues plumbers are facing right now and tips on how you can protect your pipes. And a pipe bursts, the ceiling falls, and now the family is out of a home tonight. Why management is giving them a runaround to help fix their apartment complex.
Fox 13 News at 10 starts now.
Mid-South, brace yourselves. If you thought that Mother Nature's blast of winter weather will over, think again. She's bringing the potential for freezing rain and more bitterly cold temperatures tomorrow. Good evening, and thank you for joining me for Fox 13 News at 10. I'm Noah. Fox 13 News is live local coverage you can count on, and you can see that we have team coverage tonight on this winter weather. We want to begin with our Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist, Andrew Humphrey, live in severe weather 10:13 tonight. And Andrew, what's the latest on this forecast?
That winter weather advisories for the entire viewing area from the Boot Heel, Missouri through Memphis and into northern portions of Mississippi as well. Eastern Arkansas, you're included. It starts at 6 a.m. on your Thursday. For right now, we have dry conditions, but clouds are building off to our west. No ice or snow forming or falling just as of yet in parts of North Texas or Oklahoma. But as this situation develops, we will see some of it develop right on top of the area. Here, take a look at what's due for us in your timeline. When we start to wake up tomorrow morning, between 5 and 8 a.m., that's when the first bits of freezing drizzle and rain start to arrive. It becomes more widespread, but it will also be scattered from 8 a.m. in the morning all the way through the middle of the afternoon until about 4 or 5 o'clock. It's not until after 5 where it starts to become even more widely scattered and move on out of here. Here, take a look at the maps. Here we are in Memphis. These areas of pink that are just arriving at around 5 a.m. here in Lee and Phillips counties, those are the areas that will see some of that freezing drizzle first. Then it will overtake Memphis and the rest of the viewing area by 7 a.m. through the lunch hour. These bits of green show some rain that it will be converting to, so that's rain that falls but doesn't freeze. That being said, some of that ice accumulation will have already taken place. So if there's any bit of thawing, it's going to be slow going. That means even if it's rain that's falling or temperatures are slightly above freezing, it can still be treacherous on area roads. And you can see much of this eventually leaves the area by around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and for tomorrow evening. But once again, winter weather advisory is still up. We'll talk about ice accumulations for tomorrow and what lower or higher temperatures may be ahead in your 7-day forecast in less than 10 minutes.
And thanks. We're following some breaking news tonight as this winter weather continues to claim more lives. The Shelby County Health Department is reporting 5 deaths from the winter weather. That adds to the 14 people in Tennessee that have died already from this bitterly cold temperatures and snow. Health officials are not giving any details about the victim or how the winter weather caused their death exactly. That everyone here in Memphis was relieved when this message came across their phone earlier today. An emergency alert request for MLGW customers. It went out just before noon today. The utility company thanks everyone for reducing the strain on the power grid. Let's take you to a live look in North Mississippi right now, where the roads are still covered in ice that just melts and refreezes over and over and over again. This is a look at I-55 and I-269, and things could get worse before they get better with the threat for freezing rain and ice tomorrow. Fox 13 Lakia Scott is live in South Haven, and Lakia, you spoke with state highway officials who told you that there's a big difference between state roads and local roads. Break that down for us.
Well, there's a big difference. We're still hanging out at Goodman Road and Airways Boulevard, and one of those is considered a local road, the other a state road. I'm going to step out of the way so that you can see. Let's take a look at Goodman Road. You can see that it is pretty clear for travel on this end. People are driving a lot more confidently. Now that is considered, Goodman that is, considered a state road. That means that MDOT crews, state road crews have come. They have cleared out the ice from Goodman Road. As you can see, like I said, it's a much clearer drive, but in contrast, if you take a look at Airways at this intersection, there's ice still all over the road. Now I'm learning that Airways is handled and managed by local officials, but either way, either one that you're driving, you're still asked to drive carefully. Now I spoke with leaders at the Mississippi Department of Transportation. They shared some of the strategies that they're using to keep the roads safe, especially since more ice is expected to freeze on these roads. Goodman Road is one of those locations that the state is handling. Now MDOT explained that it has put down salt salt brine and plowed through the area. In some areas, the department is focusing on clearing at least one lane for travel. They can open up 2 lanes where possible, like here at Goodman. And MDOT says upcoming weather conditions will determine how they move forward.
So we will closely monitor the forecast, and if we can pre-treat some of these roads in some places with the salt brine, we'll do that, and that'll help ice from the first layers of ice from forming on those bridges and overpasses. We do realize that we will have to come back to some of these areas. We're constantly going back and forth, evaluating roads, and trying to keep at least 1 lane open and then expand to 2 lanes.
Now, again, at this intersection is also Airways Boulevard, and it is still very icy, not as smooth of a ride for drivers because, again, ice is still covering that road. Now, MDOT told me that they do not manage Airways Boulevard here. They told me that it's managed, again, by local officials. So I did reach out to South Haven Public Works as well as DeSoto County Roads and Bridges to find out who manages roads like Airways and State Line, which both are still covered in ice. And I'm still waiting to hear back.
That's Fox 13's Lakia Scott live for us in South Haven tonight. Lakia, thanks. And in Olive Branch now, residents there ask to conserve water. City officials are asking that due to the high demand being placed on the water system. This means refraining from non-essential water uses like washing clothes, dishwashers, and other activities that require large amounts of water. They also note that some areas may experience low water pressure. If you have any water leaks, you report them to Public Works at 662-895-4111. The Mississippi Department of Health has issued a boil water notice for Walls, Mississippi. This is because of loss of water from freezing temperatures. This notice is for the town of Walls, east and south of Highway 61, going from Star Landing Road to Goodman Road. Some subdivisions in this boil water notice include Encore, Caitlin, Mallard Park, Letterman, Reunion, and all of the Lake Cormorant community. Residents in Mason have experienced water woes for a while now, and we are just now learning that electrical issues have led to water loss there. The Mason Fire Department says that a weather-related electrical problem is causing low water pressure. Crews have been working around the clock since 4:30 this morning to restore water pressure. Sometime around noon, they were able to improve some of the water levels, but most of the problems are still lingering. Right now, there is no word on when water pressure will return to normal levels, but we'll be sure to let you know here on air and online. Well, as the city gets ready for the potential for more winter weather tomorrow, the roads across our area are starting to re-ice, and now another problem to talk about, burst pipes. Now, so many pipes at this point have burst open or are frozen over. Plumbing companies across the city are facing a major backlog, hundreds of customers deep. They say that they need help to get to all of the customers. Fox 13 Jack Billiou is live in Sherwood Forest tonight, and Jack, you actually spoke to plumbers who said it could be 2 weeks at a minimum for crews to get to all the homes who've called so far.
Yeah, and you know, that's because these plumbers got a slow start when it came to this winter storm. They weren't able to hit the roads Monday or Tuesday because of those road conditions, and now they're playing catch up. Tim Fancher of Smith's Plumbing Services says his crews have a backlog of more than 300 calls to deal with. Smith's isn't alone. Fox 13 called half a dozen plumbing companies around the Mid-South who said they were also dealing with a massive backlog. Those crews are dealing with the biggest emergencies first. Fancher says this should be a reminder of how important it is to keep your cabinets and your taps open when the weather gets as cold as it did this week.
It won't happen to me. We all think that, whatever the scenario is, plumbing, whatever, it's not going to happen to me until it does, right? These things can happen. I see them all the time, so we really push preventative measures. It's better to be safe than deal with it on the back end.
Now, if your pipes are frozen, the most important thing you can do is open your taps both hot and cold. That's because as that ice thaws, the water pressure will build and the water needs somewhere to escape. And if it can't come out the faucet, well, that just means that pipe might break. Now, if you do have to deal with a broken pipe, that water's coming out, you need to locate your house's water shutoff valve. That can prevent as much damage to your home as possible.
That's Fox 13's Jack Billiou live for us in Sherwood Forest tonight. Jack, thanks. Well, that fear for burst pipes came true for two families living in a Cordova apartment complex. They say that the ceiling of their apartment caved in after the pipes burst. Now one of those tenants is without a home. Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson is live outside of the view at Shelby Farms. And Daniel, this is a huge apartment complex near Walnut Grove and Germantown Parkway. And I know you spoke with the people and they said that management really isn't giving them any options at this point.
Good evening to you. You're exactly right. And one of the families tells me that they do not have the money for a hotel tonight. They say that they just paid rent and so they're fresh out of money. But take a look. This was given to me by one of the families. You can see the video there. The families who live on the first and second floor say when the pipe burst in that third-story apartment, it caused both of their ceilings to cave in. They say once they went to the apartment management, they were told they wouldn't be moved to another apartment and that they would have to come up with the money up front for a hotel room tonight. And that's what we see, this sheetrock that is falling, right?
All of this fell on me and my 2-year-old niece.
First off, they were saying that they was going to try to move us to another apartment, but then they said it's not in policy for them to move us or they can't do anything about it. All they can do is just do repairs.
Now, one of the families say that they will stay with other family members tonight. The other family, as I said, they don't know what they will do as far as lodging tonight. I should mention that I did reach out to the management here at the View on Shelby Farms Apartments, but I was only able to leave a message.
That's just a tough situation to be in. That's Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson live for us in Cordova. Daniel, thanks. And just a reminder, if you need a warm place to stay, the Warming Center downtown will continue to stay open 24 hours a day due to this extreme cold. Single women and families will continue to stay at the Hospitality Hub on Washington Avenue, while single men and couples should go to the Dave Wells Community Center on Chelsea. MATA will be giving rides to both locations. Just call the number 297-1680. Remember, these are just intended to be a place to get warm. They're not intended to be used as overnight shelters. If you know someone that needs to get out of Holly Springs, Mississippi, we have some information for you. A warming center is now open until further notice at the Eddie Smith Multi-Purpose Center. It's located on North Memphis Street. Memphis and Memphis-Shelby County schools have also canceled classes tomorrow as well. This is the 4th straight day that they have been out of school due to wintry conditions. Remember, Fox13.com has all of the school closures whenever you need them. Closures are also running right now on the bottom of your screen. And be sure to tune in to Fox 13 Good Morning Memphis tomorrow as the winter weather rolls in. Fox 13 meteorologists Brittany DeBose and Julia Fife will be tracking the storms. We'll also have extensive team coverage all throughout the morning. Good Morning Memphis starts at 4:30 a.m. And if you can't watch us when we're on the air, download the Fox 13 Memphis News and Weather app. There you'll have a look at all of the school closings and breaking news surrounding the winter, as well as the interactive maps to track the storm. Fox 13 is a free download in your device's app store. And we're following some breaking news out of South Memphis where 3 people have been shot, including an elderly woman. We have also learned that 1 person is dead. Fox 13 Rosalind Freeman is live at the scene on Kendall Avenue and will have the latest for us coming up. And we're tracking the icy weather headed towards the Mid-South. Fox 13 News is live local you can count on. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey will have your forecast after the break. Stay with us.
The local investigations that make a difference are on Fox 13 News. Exposing the pollution leaking into one of Memphis's oldest neighborhoods for decades.
Do you think that the people in these communities know something's wrong?
And doing more to keep you safe by testing the automatic features in your car to find out if they do more harm than good.
100% of the time, this technology failed.
Local investigations you won't see anywhere else. Every day on Fox 13 News.
Every day here on Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis, we do more local news than anyone else.
Because covering the stories that happen here is what helps you prepare.
Reporters who are the first to know, bringing you fresh information like no one else can.
Live updates from the day's biggest stories and what happened overnight.
Taking you beyond the headlines with details that matter.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're live everywhere to help you prepare.
Wake up with us and start your day ready for anything.
Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis, weekdays from 4:30 to 10 a.m.
This is breaking news.
And that breaking news is out of South Memphis tonight, where 1 woman is dead and 2 others are hurt, including a teen after a shooting. This all happened just tonight on Kendall Avenue. Fox 13's Rosalind Freeman is live there where the shooting happened. And Rosalind, police told you that all 3 shooting victims were women. Fill us in.
I'm live in South Memphis, and not only were they all 3 women, they were all family members, according to MPD. This happened just a little bit after 6 o'clock. 2 women, including an elderly lady, and 1 teenager was shot here in South Memphis on Kendall Avenue. I want to turn your attention to the Blue House where it happened, where all 3 family members were shot, leaving 1 dead and 1 in critical condition being treated at Regional 1 and 1 teenager being treated at Le Bonheur. MPD is now searching for 2 male suspects.
My heart aches for this family tonight. Family suffering the death of 1 family member and 2 additional family members that were injured in a senseless shooting.
According to MPD, they are trying to determine whether the shots came from outside or whether they were inside. So they are currently checking nearby cameras. Darcy.
That's Fox13's Rosalind Freeman live for us in Southwest Memphis tonight. Rosalind, thanks. And even more breaking news tonight. A man wanted for a shooting deputies in Lauderdale County, Tennessee, was captured today. Police originally were looking for Brian Lovell after deputies responded to a domestic abuse call in Henning on Sunday. When sheriff's deputies arrived, they say that Lovell shot at them. A patrol vehicle was shot, but no deputies were injured. Today, deputies were able, along with the U.S. Marshals Future Task Force, captured Lovell. He was taken into custody without any incident. Lovell is charged with attempted murder and other felony charges. He is currently in the Lauderdale County Jail awaiting arraignment. Well, the snow and cold weather isn't stopping people from committing crimes in Memphis. And conditions are actually helping police capture them. We found 3 cases where the winter weather has actually helped MPD. An escaped child rapist was no match for snow and ice and freezing temperatures. Police say 20-year-old DeMarcus Davis was being transferred to 201 Poplar when he jumped out of a corrections officer's jail car near the jail. They say that Davis, who was still wearing handcuffs, only lasted about 45 minutes before flagging down a driver on medicine to turn himself in. Police also captured these 2 men who stole from the Ulta Beauty store. Police say that Rodriguez and Tredarius Bakersfield stole from the Ulta Beauty on North Germantown Parkway. Police say they got away with $4,000 worth of beauty products. Officers say the 2 sets of footprints in the snow led to the suspects who were still on the shopping center lot. They also recovered a suitcase containing the stolen items. Police also made 4 arrests of people who were trying to break into an air machine at the Valero gas station in Raleigh on Monday. Police arrested 45-year-old Randall Mara and found his snowy footprints inside a stolen Honda Dye. All but one of the suspects are still behind bars. Davis is being held on a $76,000 bond. Well, as temperatures continue to drop across most of the country, electric car owners are finding out the hard way that their batteries don't carry the same charge in the cold. AAA says the performance times about when temperatures drop below 20 degrees, and drivers, they're frustrated.
I had to charge like multiple times every day the last couple days. I had to wait for 45 minutes for a charger, and then I pull in, it doesn't work, and then I pull out, and then someone else takes the next charger, and then I had to wait again. So it's been a little frustrating.
I was at 50% when I got here. Usually from 50 to 80, 90% take 10, 15 minutes. It's taking an hour and 20 minutes.
Well, luckily, some electric cars come with winterized options like heated seats, heated steering wheels, or reheat the car before they head out.
And certainly check ahead early tomorrow morning, because that's when we have freezing rain, freezing drizzle moving in that will add to at least some ice accumulation across the area. Because of that potential for ice, winter weather advisory for Memphis and all of the Mid-South from the Boot Heel, Missouri into northern Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, starting at 6 a.m. It does not expire until 7 p.m. tomorrow. So when does the freezing rain, freezing drizzle arrive? Well, take a look for yourself. Here in parts of eastern Arkansas, from Cross County southward into Phillips County, between 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning. Then Memphis and the heart of the Mid-South. You can see Memphis, Shelby County, Crittenden County, and also DeSoto County between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning. Then neighborhoods and communities farther north and east of the immediate metro area in parts of western Tennessee, also up toward the Boot Heel in Missouri and other portions of northern Mississippi. 28 degrees right now, certainly higher temperatures than what we were experiencing at this time yesterday, but still cold enough to produce ice if we get any sort of precipitation. We don't have it now, but it arrives early tomorrow morning, and it feels colder still with those winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. As you can see, it's below freezing everywhere with a mixture of teens and 20s that we'll also experience by the time we wake up tomorrow. And here's a look at that storm as it moves in, and you'll notice a couple of things with this system. One, it doesn't really pack the punch that the MLK snowstorm had just a few days ago. It's got less energy to it. That's good news. Also, it's going to move through pretty quickly. Arriving early in the morning between 5 and 7 o'clock, you can see the scattered nature of the precipitation as well. In these areas of pink, you see a few gaps here. So it's scattered freezing drizzle, scattered freezing light rain. So while there will be ice accumulation because it's moving quickly and it's scattered and light, the ice accumulation is going to be on the lower end of the scale. That being said, we may even see some rain mix in if temperatures get high enough. But by that time, there'll be at least some ice accumulation, so it doesn't mean a lot of thawing happening quickly. So it still means that we will see treacherous road conditions in some places. The places where we're expecting higher ice accumulations, north of I-40, where it will be colder most of the day. But even then, ice accumulations, well, less than 1/10 of an inch, which is actually good news. But you still want to be cautious on area roads and be careful walking because 6/100ths of an inch of ice can still cause problems. Same thing with 2/100ths of an inch or even just 1/100th of an inch here in portions of northern Mississippi. Then we're looking at sunnier skies, but behind this system, reinforcing frigid air. We'll get to that in a second and what it means. 21 degrees overnight tonight, not as frigid, building clouds with freezing rain and freezing drizzle arriving between 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning. It remains persistent but scattered as we go into the afternoon as well, high temperatures up to around 35. Afterward, that frigid air comes right back. That means high temperatures in the 20s, low temperatures in the single digits and teens as we go from Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday morning. So we stay below freezing for at least 2 to 2.5 days. It's not until Sunday afternoon where we make it above freezing with mostly sunny skies for your Sunday. And then even warmer air moves in here with 40s on Monday and 50s with a better chance of rain than anything else as we go into next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, schools here in the Mid-South are closed due to the winter weather, but one made the decision to reopen schools. Hear from the frustrated parents that say that their children should have stayed home next.
With more local news than anyone else.
Nobody helps you prepare for the day like Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis.
Reporters who are the first to know, bringing you fresh information like no one else can.
Brittany DuBose and the team of expert meteorologists in Severe Weather Center 13 are constantly tracking upcoming storms. They break down every aspect of the weather so you're ready for your day and the week ahead.
Plus, real-time traffic to help you avoid delays. All morning long on Fox 13's Good Morning Memphis.
Fox 13 News, always live in your neighborhood. From Olive Branch to Lakeland, Marion, and Cordova. With more local news than anyone else, we'll be there for you.
No matter where news unfolds, you'll know more about what's happening around town and in your neighborhood. Fox 13 is local coverage you can count on.
And welcome back to Fox 13 News at 10. This is a look at roads in northeastern Arkansas. You can see the roads are pretty slick. This is in Craighead County. There in Jonesboro made the decision to reopen schools today in these dangerous conditions. And many parents are frustrated and feel that it was the wrong time. Maddie Sexton spoke with those frustrated parents and school with officials on what caused them to make this decision.
They should have stayed home at least one more day.
Heather Eldridge is the mother of a junior at Jonesboro High School and a second grader who goes to health and wellness. She said her boys waited at the bus stop for a while this morning. The wind chill was near zero.
My 16-year-old stands out there for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then my 8-year-old stands there for probably about 25-30 minutes.
Superintendent Kim Wilbank says when it comes to making the decision to open the school, there's several factors considered.
Our campus is clean, parking lots ready for faculty and staff to park on, our sidewalks clear. We're looking at the streets that are right around our schools.
This is video of just one neighborhood near JHS. Wilbanks said bus routes are a big topic when deciding if the school should be open or not. Eldridge says her apartment parking lot is still covered, but since the kids ride the bus, she sent them to school.
Because I'm a single mom and I didn't have a babysitter or anything, so I had to send them.
Wilbanks says they bear the responsibility to provide resources for all students.
There are kids who need a warm place to be. There are children who need a breakfast and a lunch that we're going to provide them. There are parents who are going to be working and have to leave their kids at home alone potentially.
But the mother of two said it's too cold for anyone to be outside.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much you wear to keep warm, you're still going to be cold. And the kids should not be out there right now.
And today I asked the principals, so as you were thinking about coming back to school, was there a child that you were thinking about that needed you? And I said, I want you to get that name in your head because that's why we do what we do. We do it for the kids who need us the most.
That was Maddie Sexton reporting. Right now, it's unclear if those schools will reopen tomorrow. Memphis International Airport has released another update on their preparations during the ongoing winter storm. The airport says that it has remained open and that flights are continuing to arrive and depart. Memphis International says that crews will be on the scene tomorrow morning to pre-treat paved surfaces with de-icing chemicals ahead of the potential rain and sleet that is coming tomorrow. Passengers are being asked to check directly with their airlines before arriving at the airport. Well, school is out, and that means that students really get to enjoy another snow day. Just ahead, a look at some of the fun kids had at Shelby Farms. And we're getting you ready for round 2 of winter weather tomorrow. Fox 13 News is live local coverage you can count on. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey will have his final forecast after the break.
You start hearing that, these are all people that live on one street. 10 of them have been impacted by cancer. Is this just merely a coincidence? And that's when the digging starts.
The past year, we've seen pretty deplorable conditions. We've seen extreme cases of mold, sewage flowing through the courtyard.
After we highlight that issue, we really want to talk about the solutions to the problem.
At Fox 13, we're incredibly grateful to be a voice.
It's really great to see our reporting make a difference.
Every night on Fox 13 News, Darcy Thomas and Daryl Green bring you more local news than anyone else by taking you live to the scene of breaking news as it unfolds, so you know what's happening now, giving you perspective with storytelling that goes beyond the headlines, and leading the way with original investigations about your community and your money. Join Fox 13's Darcy Thomas and Daryl Green with the only live local news at 9, 9:30, and 10. Fox 13 News is local coverage you can count on.
Well, we know that we've been talking about the problems the snow and ice has been causing for days here on Fox 13, but the snow really has been enjoyable for many people. In fact, there were many people who got a chance to enjoy the snow. Take a look at this video. This is video we took at Shelby Farms today where people were sledding. It looks like they're having a good time out there, those kiddos out there. And what's even better? They're off school again tomorrow.
On this hill at Shelby Farms, the more weight you have on the sled on this hill, the more faster you go.
Good tips from that young sledder. Now don't wait to be out there tomorrow with the freezing rain. Let's get a final check of our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey.
And we have some ice on the way for tomorrow. Winter weather advisory in effect starting at 6 a.m. The ice starts to move in just before 6. The ice buildup will be small but still significant, and we'll be tracking it first thing tomorrow morning on Good Morning Memphis. So tune in, meteorologists Brittany DeBose and Julia Fife will be tracking that for you live.
Sounds good. Thanks, Andrew. And thanks for watching Fox 13 News at 10. Of course, Good Morning Memphis starts at 4:30 a.m. with live local coverage you can count on. We'll see you then. Good night.